Okay, so I am recording as of right now. You choked, you didn't spit. Well, that's good. Let's just be happy that you didn't spit and you choked instead. Okay. So, am I talking really loud or is it just me? I'm talking really loud.
You be you,
Okay.
Martha.
Okay. Well, I will calm down because now I'm just going to talk. I'm not going to like exclaim as much. But so racking my brain to try to figure out because I don't know, like I want so many things for us, like, and when I say things, I use that term to say that, like, I want good for us, okay, like across the board, like not just like numbers and dollar signs and shiny gemstones. Like, I want good for us. Do we have, I think everybody's muted already. I'm just gonna go ahead and do this. There we go. Y'all can unmute yourself if you need to. But just for outside noise purposes. So, but I feel like to get to the good, we have to dig out some crud, right? And that can look like different things for different people, depending on A, who you are, B, like what you're facing in life. 3, yeah, I did A, B, and 3. Like what you want, like what does good in this business, in your journey, in your health, all those kind of things. Like what does that mean for you? And so maybe that's where we should have started is, but I already have some stuff planned. So we're just going to go with what I got planned. But defining for you what success is, defining for you what you're going for. And then on the flip side of that, knowing your enemy. Okay. And y'all are probably like, what are we gonna talk about? Oh my gosh. Like, I'm talking about like digging out crud, knowing your enemy, and all of this stuff. Like, I think because we are in a battle, right? All of us, like as women, as moms, as wives, as friends, as sisters, as daughters, as everybody, workers, as coaches, we are warriors. Right? I got this picture in my head last night in the shower, of all places, because I do my best thinking in there. I know y'all know about this. Of like literally a shield and a sword, and you are standing in the gap for somebody, right? Even if maybe right now it's just for yourself, it's for somebody, right? So we need to know what it is that we're fighting against, what it is that we're fighting. Yeah, we might have a really good idea what we're fighting for, but what are we fighting exactly? And I think that it can go a little bit deeper, because this is what I like to do. I like to go deep. I think it can go deeper than just fighting like an unhealthy lifestyle or X, Y, and Z. I think we can go deeper than that. I think we can go deeper into fighting personally, fighting fear, maybe fighting some comparison, maybe fighting some complacency or some loneliness or some time management issues, like those things that are, if we don't talk about them and if we don't deal with them, are going to hold us back and keep us ineffective, which, yeah, we can call those enemies, but we all really know that this is like from one great big bad enemy, all right? And that is keeping us from being effective. I was trying to say keeping us ineffective, but you know what I mean. And that's honestly probably my biggest fear in life, is to be ineffective, to know what I'm supposed to do, to have this vision, to have this like thing in front of me that I want to accomplish, and that I know that I probably could accomplish, and not getting to it, not doing it. And so I don't want that for any of you. And I don't want fear. So we're gonna like hone in on fear. to be the reason why you don't get to that good, that you don't get to that success place for you. Does that make sense? And if at any point during this time together right now tonight, you feel like I'm like poking at you, I might be. But just kind of go like, no, just listen. Like, just listen. Stop that. Just listen. Okay. Does that make sense? This is really funny. The person to my left right now is Mallory. And so I'm like whacking at her right now. That's not actually happening, but it just looks like it in my head. It's making me happy. I'm not fussing. I'm loving on you right now. And this is coming from a place of just really wanting like excellence for you personally. Every single one of my little Brady Bunch swears going on right now. Okay. Every single one of you. What combats fear, and what's the opposite of that fear? For me, it's belief. Like, I can fear like all these things, all these what ifs, all these things that happen or might happen, or I don't know how to do that, but it really comes down to fear. And the opposite of that for me is believing in my abilities, which may or may not be like abilities, believing in my why personally, like first and foremost, like, why the heck am I here? Why am I here on this earth? Why am I here in this team? Why am I here on that carpet in front of that TV every single day, sweating and crying and drinking all the water, and whacking myself in the face with a little styrofoam ball. And all my MVF peeps. So I feel like knowing that why is what's going to fuel the belief, and the belief defeats the fear. Okay. So your why sees you through the fear, sees you through being overwhelmed with all the things. And I see a lot of new faces and new to coaching and new to a new goal or new to a new phase or a new season of coaching, because that can change. I can attest to that. I've been here almost 5 years, and yeah, that like your season of and there's fear attached to that, and there's overwhelm attached to that, because like, oh my goodness, now I have all these things to learn. And your belief also combats that comparison, right? It also combats like, so your belief is going to ultimately combat the disbelief that you cannot accomplish and get to that good that you're out there like got your eyes on. So I'm going to specifically talk about how fear and unbelief affect our reaching out to people, because I think that's probably, I know that's for me, that was the thing that I had to get over, like first thing, like this is what you got to the first step over, because you can't really touch anything else until you really get to the bottom of, why do I even really want to ask somebody else to come and do this with me? Like, first of all, do I want to ask people to come and do this? And if I say yes, that's what I want for someone else, why is that? Why do I want this for someone else? Why do I want it for myself? And why is it such a big deal to talk about it and to share it? And what is holding me back? So I think in my head, I think about what's the worst that can happen? Say you go out and you're like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I'm going to rip off the Band-Aid. You've heard that a lot. I'm going to rip off the Band-Aid. I'm going to send my invites. I'm just going to do it. But then all of a sudden you're like, like, and you kind of like, you start to type and it's like paralyzed, right? And or you have all these ideas like, I want to talk to this person, and all the things that can happen in your brain that actually probably won't even happen in real life, right? What is it? The statistic that 90, 90% of the things that we worry about actually never happen. So I'm just throwing that out there. Maybe that's not even really the statistic. I don't know. I should have looked that up before I started. Sorry. So say you get objections, like, okay, we're just going to throw out all of the worst. Okay, what's the worst? The worst is that you get somebody that starts asking you a bunch of questions and you don't know what to say. Okay, well, we have an answer for that, because if you don't know what to say, you say, you know what? I'm going to do some looking into that and I'm going to get back to you. And then you come and ask somebody, or you look it up. And then all of a sudden you're like, dang, I know where to look for that now. Or, oh my goodness, I am empowered. I also, all of a sudden, I know something that I didn't know before. And that fuels what? Belief, right? Because you're like, not only did I know, like I could figure it out to go and look for it, or I knew who to ask, but I also can like communicate that, and it's really great. And that brings up my second point about an objection. Like, if we can stop thinking about an objection as like a hindrance or like a bad thing, and start thinking about it as like, this is a really good opportunity to share and to communicate with somebody else. I'm taking this directly from one of the summit talks that we listened to. Who was that? Melissa McAllister? Yes. Yes?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So an opportunity for communication. Okay. I put myself out there. This is another what if. I put myself out there, and all of a sudden, or I'm not going to put myself out there because I don't want to be salesy, and I don't want to be all about Beachbody. You know, these are things that we talk about a lot as coaches, and what holds us back, and what a lot of people coming in, like, no, I'm not going to be a coach because this is like, I don't want to be salesy. I don't want to sell to my friends. I don't want to sell to my family. And I don't want to be all about Beachbody all over my wall. Okay, first of all, if your heart is in the right place, and you go back to that why, you yourself started your journey to get healthy, to be better for your family, whatever your why was. If your heart was in the right place for that, and you're sharing in an authentic way that is authentic to you, like authentic to you, you are absolutely, to coin a phrase from the church, you are above reproach, sister. Okay? You are above reproach. And you can lay your pretty beautiful head down on your pillow at night and say, you know what? I did good. I shared. I was me, and I gave. I didn't keep it. I gave it. And that is on them to receive it. It's just like sharing the gospel with somebody, right? It's just like telling somebody about Jesus. Is it on you if they go, nope, I'm not going to take that? Is that on you? No, it's not. It is not on you. Unfortunately, it's on them, but then you love them anyway. And that's exactly what we do as coaches. They say, nope, that's not for me. And here's all the reasons why. And you give them really good reasons to do it, and they still don't do it. Well, you love them anyway. And you're here for them whenever they do decide, because they will keep watching you if you're consistent. Okay. And the whole thing about not wanting to be Beachbody all over the place, that's, if you're being yourself and you're sharing life, you will not be Beachbody all over yourself. You won't be Beachbody all over. Okay. It will not be Beachbody all over. It will be some of your kids in there, and some of your friends in there, and some of your pets in there, and some of your food in there, and some of your travels in there, and something that just is off the wall and makes you laugh that day. And that is beautiful. And it's you. And it's what people want. Like, that's what they want. And that's what's going to attract them to what you have to offer them, right? Not look at all of the Shakeology I have in my cabinet. Like, that's not what they're looking for. They're looking for you. And another thing about like being weirded out, because I totally was weirded out, because I'm like, okay, I have a lot of coach friends, and I have some mutual friends with coach friends. And what if we're all posting, and we're posting about the same thing, and like, I don't want them to see that I posted that, and then like Mallory posted it, and I'm like, do you know how many pirated posts I have from Mallory? because she's really good at sharing. Like, that is what, like, first of all, algorithm, which is just a really big word that I don't understand, but I do know this, that was, I looked this up in 2019. This is from Hootsuite, which is like a, helps you with the algorithm kind of thing on Facebook. This is this website. In 2019, the average reach for Facebook posts was 2.2%. 2.2. And this is not to say nobody's going to see your posts, but like, no, this is to say that of the post, like your posts are only being seen by about 5.5% of your followers. So not everybody is going to be seeing all of your posts. So not all of the people that Mallory has following her is going to see all of Mallory's posts. Not all the people that I have following me are going to see Mallory's posts. Not all the people that I have following me are going to see my posts. And so you just have to share a lot. Like, you share your transformation a lot, because you, each and every one of you, have an amazing transformation. So you share that a lot, because it's not going to be seen nearly as much as you think it is. So, and that goes back to, it's also not going to be seen and compared to your friend who is also posting. Okay, I promise. Like, you can take that to the bank. I feel like I lost my place here. That was a lot of talking. So basically, thinking back about, like, when your coach, what attracted you to your coach? What made you go, I wonder what that's like? And did that coach reach out to you? And how many times did she reach out to you? So what would have happened if she never had? Right? Like, that is a thought that makes me really, really sad. Like, if Kristen had never reached out to me, and then if she had never followed up with me, if she would have been tangled up in this fear of, I don't know what to say, and I can't say it, and I don't want to interrupt. I don't want to interrupt her life, and I don't want to bother her, and I'm like, please bother me. I was craving for someone to bother me. Maybe I wasn't saying it out loud, but I needed it so bad, and you never know who's going to need to be bothered by you. Okay, so bother somebody. Go out and bother them. I'm giving you permission. So like, your coach gave you a chance to succeed by inviting you, right? And then you give yourself a chance to succeed by saying no to fear and inviting someone else. And then you give a chance to succeed to someone else because you invited them. Like, that cycle, that's what we do, right? We get a chance, we grow a chance by our own journey, and then we give it to someone else, right? I love that. I love that picture. I'm a big word picture person, in case most of y'all know that about me. But I love that picture of that cycle that just keeps going. And then I gave a chance to Mallory, and I gave a chance to Nicole, and now Mallory has gone and given a chance to Desi and Caitlin, and now Nicole has gone and given a chance to Kate and to Shannon, and like, it's just, it's compounded. And I would have never been able to go give a chance to Shannon, right? Because I don't know Shannon. Nicole knew Shannon, but now I know Shannon because I know Nicole. But Mallory, like, I didn't know Desi and Caitlin and Brenda and Holly. Like, I didn't know them. But now we can reach so many other people because Kristen didn't say yes to fear. And I'm so thankful that she didn't. I'm so, so thankful. One of the things she always told me is never hold someone else's future captive in your mouth. And I know most of y'all have probably heard that before. I cannot get that out of my head. I think that was probably one of the very first things that I ever learned as a new baby coach. Like, and I was like, oh, well, I don't want to do that. I still gave into fear. I still let it kind of be like, but no, like, no. Like, when you think about it like that, first of all, when you think about, like, my why, Okay, hold on. I want to show y'all something. I should have had this. Y'all have seen this, right? Did y'all see my post about this? Okay. Yeah. My fear can be pretty big. I still get scared. I probably sent most of y'all, oh my gosh, you've probably seen me. If you've been in any coach trainings with me, oh my gosh, I just sent this invite. I've talked about it. I still talk. I talked to Kristen about that. Kristen still tells me about invites that make her stomach want to be up in her brain. Like, that was a weird, speaking of word pictures. But like, if your why is stronger than anything else, and your love of people, when those get together, you're unstoppable. Absolutely unstoppable. And because you're unstoppable, we as a team are unstoppable, and we get to do that for all the other people, right? So really, like, the bottom line for me is, do I want to let fear have the right to call the shots? Do I want fear to hold me back and decide? Do I want fear to decide my success? Do I want fear to define my success? Because if you give into it, it's going to limit you, and it's going to define what you do moving forward or not moving forward. Do you really want fear to be the thing that defines what you do with this one shot that we all get, right? And that's like dramatic and like big, but I think it's pretty dramatic to have a choice. I think it's amazing that we have that choice. Like, we get to pick who we give the reins to every single day that we wake up. I for a while, this is a quote that not really a quote, but an idea that my sister gave me. And I shared this with most of you, I believe, some of you. I don't ever want to do something out of obligation, or B, do nothing out of fear. And for me, that means, when I look at the obligation side, like, I don't want to just go through life doing things because I feel like I have to. And so for y'all, for me, that means that, back what we were talking about before, like, I get to define my goals. I get to define my success. If that is, oh crud, we're running out of time. I knew this would happen. If we get cut off, I'm going to come back, same link. Okay. And I promise I won't keep you all night. I promise. Okay. I promise. So we get to define our goals, and we get to decide what is worth going for those goals. So, like, we get to define the cost. We get to decide, like, what we're gonna put into this, and how much time we're gonna spend. And we get to do all of the, not have to, we get to do all of those things. So no obligation. There's no have to. Martha is not telling you that you have to go for diamond. If you want to go for diamond, we will make that happen, and we will do it. Mallory is not telling you to get to emerald. She's telling you that it's a possibility, and we always want to give you an opportunity, because a lot of times we don't know. Like, sometimes I have my eyes closed to, like, the possibilities. So we want to give you the possibilities, right?
So something I learned in one of the books was that opening the door and choosing the courage over comfort. So our comfort zone is like us, where we're going to be huddled up inside, is where that door opens to the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
And I can just say, since little girl was born last year, that has been a theme. I was the one sitting here, what was that, last August probably, we talked, that I didn't know how in the world diamond was ever going to happen. I was in that season of life of invites were hard, invites were scary, there was no way I was tracking, my life was turned upside down. So when you put like your comfort aside and learn to step out, like so much can happen.
Because that's what we do in our workouts, right? And that's what we do every time we decide to eat a carrot instead of another piece of cake. Like we're putting our comfort aside for something that is going to serve us a lot better tomorrow.
I promise growth happens.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's insane.
Yeah.
I've seen more in the last year from that than I did working a full-time job.
Yeah.
So
like defining, like, so we're kicking obligation out. So if you're sitting here and you feel like you have been forced into saying that I want to be an emerald coach or I want to be a diamond coach or whatever, like if you feel like you're only doing it to appease someone else, like I'm just going to release you from that right now. Because number one, that was never our intention. And number two, if it's not yours and you don't want it, you don't need to be carrying that around, because it's going to hold you back just like the fear would. Okay. So you get to decide. So there's no obligation. We're throwing that out the window, and you just need to communicate that. Okay. You just need to communicate that. This is what I want. This is what I don't want. Now don't you dare limit yourself. Don't you say, I can't get there. And don't limit someone else. Like, don't be like, oh, that's not what I want. That's not for me. We're not going to do that. Like, and do like the whole, like, we aren't going to do that. Like, okay, whatever. Like, just kind of, okay, that's fine. But let other people do their thing, right? I'm not saying that like I'm expecting that to happen, but it's just, I've seen it happen where all of a sudden, like this person, because they're so comfortable where they are. And that's something that I want to do as a coach, as a leader, is to be able to lead people who want to outshine me. Like I want to lead someone to be a 10-star coach. Do I want to be a 10-star coach? Not right now. Is that my goal? No, not right now. But if you want to, I'm going to lead you to outrank me. Yay, please outrank me. Like, please go for it. But I'm never going to tell you. This is all the reasons why I don't want to be a 10-star coach. I might tell you that that's not my goal, but I'm not going to put that on you, right? Okay, does that make sense? And then being absolutely paralyzed and not doing anything because you're so afraid of what other people are going to think about you or what it's going to do to you or whatever. Like all the what ifs that we already talked about, the worst that can happen. Like not doing something, the first thing that you need to do is go take action on something. Like when you feel that paralyzed, right? What's the best thing that you can do? Go do something. When you're sore, when you feel like your body is tense or your body is like just not feeling, go do something. Like go move. It's like one of the first things we learn about our health, right? The time whenever you don't want to do something is probably the time when you need to do it the most. So go do something. When you don't feel like inviting, go send out 3 invites. 3, not 17 billion. 3. Because what you're doing is you're complimenting somebody else. You're lifting up somebody else, and that will always change your outlook and your mindset in a second, in a millisecond. It's one of my favorite things to do. I'm not always in the right headspace for it, but man, when I can like take control of that fear and take control of that bad day and take control of that funk, because heavens knows we've all been in funks lately, right? If I can take control of that and go, you know what? I'm going to go look for somebody who has great hair today, and I'm going to tell them their hair looks great. I'm going to go look for someone who is just rocking their mom journey, and I'm going to go tell them that they are a fabulous mom. Because I might not feel like a great mom today, but I can find somebody else that's doing a really good job, and all of a sudden, I'm reminded that I'm really thankful for my kids. And it's amazing. It's amazing how that works. And I love that God has put us in communities for just that reason, so that we can get out of our own darn heads. I really feel like that's one of the main reasons, because we can be so We can get those blinders on and we can get so like bogged down in our own stuff. And there's seasons where your stuff is stuff, right? You need to go. She actually isn't wearing any pants either, so we're just gonna get it. So seriously. So like there's seasons where our stuff is hard and really, really heavy and like legit the worst, like the actual worst. And so we need each other. How many times have I said, do not lean away from this team? Do not lean away from your people. Do not let this define you. Like it's not you. Like your fear is not you. Yes, Micah is a mess. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, Katie's, she's very funny. This is not worthy to define you. Like your fear doesn't get to do that. You do, and Jesus does. Okay. I heard a really good, I'm going to turn it over to Mallory in just a second, but I'm going to leave y'all with my part. I heard a really good, literally like 10 minutes before I jumped on with y'all, and this is from the Lord. I'm 100% sure. I heard an analogy about forgiveness, and this, I think it applies to fear as well, that forgiveness is like bolt cutters on a chain. And that chain is holding you down, like it's holding you down to like ineffectiveness, to not being able to move from the place that you want to be, you know, like you're chained to something, and we don't want to be chained, right? We want to be free. So if forgiveness breaks the chain, and it's the bolt cutters that breaks the chain, maybe between forgiveness, to use the analogy of like you and another person, like you're being chained to this other person and walking in unforgiveness. But like, why don't we, like that fear that we're chained to, belief and action, like let's just take those bolt cutters and break it, because now we're free and we can go out and we can make a difference, and we can go out and we can grow in ourselves, and we can go out and we can be better for our people that need us, right? So that's all I got. Mallory has some good ideas for some books, some good personal development books about belief and overcoming fear.
Okay, are we gonna get kicked off though?
Probably.
Oh.
Do we want to hop off and then hop back on, and then you can share our books?
Yeah, I'll be like
then
5 minutes.
Just gonna say that.
It's going to be like 5 minutes. She's